Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Zed. Today I'm going to be talking about NIO. Now this is an update to my previous video. If you would like to watch that one, you'll find it in the description below. Nonetheless, this one will be a standalone video. I'm going to briefly go through technical analysis and then dive through the due diligence part, where I dive through a bunch of different things, news that I could find, etc. Make sure to drop a like to this video to help the channel grow, subscribe and leave notifications on, and let's jump right into it. So on a 1 week perspective, what we get to see here is something very important when it comes in towards the moving averages. See the trading action zone, the 10 SMA and the 30 EMA here, that is where reversals are likely. So if it does dip below the 36.14 all the way to 24, it has a very strong chance to jump right back up. That's your safe haven. 50 SMA is way below, so we don't need to worry about this one. ADX started to do something very interesting. It started to almost stabilize at this level and retract. It hasn't done that for a while, so that might be an alarming kind of alert at the back or a warning. And then when we look into the Williams percent R, it's actually the highest oversold it's been ever since the week of 12th of July. Now the MACD here looks like it's actually curving a little bit down, and momentum looks like it retracted. So yes, we did have a little bit of a painful week for NIO. We need to look a little bit further into the 1 day. Into the 1 day, it looks like, yes, in fact, it was 6 red candles followed by 1 green candle in there. Nonetheless, this one was what started off as a red day and then bounced right back into the trading action zone. Below the 42.65, it does, or sorry, 42.51, it does actually leave the bullish trading action zone. And what that means is, on the 1 day perspective, it's less likely to bounce. So you get to see it did bounce once already here, but it looks like it's actually falling down. MACD shows in the same, ADX shows in the retracting, Williams percent R is dipping down, and momentum is dipping down. Moving averages do look bullish until it crosses the $42. Then you become in big trouble. Now on a 2-hour perspective, what we get to see is a continuation of that kind of pullback from traders. They're a little bit scared on this. Perhaps it is the bill that was voted in the House that was that already passed the Senate might be causing a little bit of trouble for some people, but I'll cover that in a second. Now on the moving average band, it's expected to trade between 42.61 on the bottom, 47.35 in the middle, and 52.08 on the top. Now this would be the first time it has a chance to actually follow the band as it did here. The last few times it actually jumped from the bottom around here, here, and here, but it never really dropped below the moving average band. So that could be something. It did drop just momentarily on the 2nd of December and then bounced right back. So it looks like we might have a chance for a reversal at this level. But things are looking a little bit different on the stochastic fast and the stochastic slow. Both are pointing downwards and not stabilizing. What this says is, hey, be careful, it might actually go on down a little bit further to test another support. So here comes things that are important, is where are the supports? Fibonacci retracement supports is sitting currently at the 36.39, 29.92, and 23.46. The current resistances sit at 45.59 and 57.31. Now if we were to look into the price line actions, we get to see that yes, the current support we're sitting at is 42.91. Below there, a significant one at the 40.96 level, and then the 39.94, and of course 38.64, and then down to 35.96, jumping down to 32.12, and I would say this is the make it or break it, is around 29.51. There is one that has been a lot stronger below it, 21.97 to 20.89, but I would really like to not see touch that level. Significant resistances, a very strong resistance is at 44.87. Above there, we're looking at another one at 48.27, and another one at 51.39, and another one at 54.29. Now comes in towards the significant news. Now, I've been covering this one for quite a while. So if you go back to my series, you'll find a bunch of different videos that'll be very helpful to paint a bigger picture for NIO. Nonetheless, they're an EV manufacturer. They have different car series, and they've been providing us with some amazing updates on the news release. Now, yes, they did have events before. There doesn't seem to be any upcoming events, at least on their website. Their SEC filings, the last one, has been mentioned the November 2020 delivery update, and it shows in that NIO delivered 5,291 vehicles in November 2020, increasing by almost 10% year over year, and around 36,721 vehicles in 2020 total, an increase of 111 year-over-year percent, of course. Cumulative deliveries of ES8, ES6, and EC6. These are the three kind of flagships of the brand. As of November 30th, they reached around 68,634. That is really bullish there, because I'll show you in a second the numbers we were looking at. But if you want to break through on basically which model has the highest, the deliveries consisted of 1,387 ES8s, and then your ES6s are 2,386, and the 5-seater high-performance premium SUV 1,518 for the EC6. Now, just a quick reminder that they did launch one of them this year, so it doesn't perhaps tell you, oh, there's more demand on one over the other, but there's definitely, we can see that kind of trend that the ES6 is quite of a high demand vehicle they have. Quarter 1 to quarter 4s. Starting with quarter 3 here from 2019, well, 2018 quarter 4. So quarter 4 for 2018, we've seen 7,980. Currently, we're looking at, from last year, 8,224. It's expected to break this year, because so far in the third quarter, for instance, we had 12,206. Back 2019 quarter 3, 4,799. Quite significant. 10,331, 3,533. We are advancing at a high rate. And if I can say anything, is that quarter 4 looks like to be the always best quarter when you look into 2019, between quarter 1 and 4. And 2018 looks like it's substantial there as well. 7,980 to 8,224, not a lot of change. So what I expect in quarter 4 alone, we're going to break this number. Why? Because in November alone, we reached around 5,291 vehicles. So that is substantial for me. And if you were to look into the October numbers, you can even find them back into, I believe, here. And it's all on their website. Their October numbers were 5,055. So if you add October and November and you ditch out December, you get 5,055. Plus 5,291, you get somewhere around 10,400. That already beats the quarter 4 for 2019 and 2018 with 2 months out of the 3. Count in December. So the numbers there are going to be amazing for quarter 4, or at least that's what we can anticipate. Now, institutional buyers seem to not be worried about the drop. They're not selling. Actually, yesterday, Semi Investment Co. doubled their investment to 343,000 shares. That's an increase of 234% of their current shares. So it still looks kind of bullish. Insiders, still nothing. Now, the biggest thing that a lot of people are worried about is the House Act that just passed on for what quote-unquote was been called a China delisting bill. It already passed the Senate, it passed the House, and what's going to happen here is they're going to pass it on to law. But here's the big thing about it. It's not a China delisting bill. What it really is just more of making sure that Chinese companies, remember Lunkin Coffee was on a scandal. Yep, they're here, Lunkin Coffee, they fabricated $300 million. There's a lot of different things where, Chinese accounting doesn't really comply fully with American standard or the SEC standards. And all it is doing is just making sure that if companies are going to be listed on the US stock exchange, it's going to comply with US rules. And that's fair. Now, I'm not sure exactly 100% how it's going to work for Alibaba, NIO, and all those kind of stuff, but I do imagine that they will comply. They have 3 years grace period to comply. So I don't think it's going to be very much damaging right on there. But 3 years grace period indicates that Congress is willing to give Chinese companies and their auditors not once, not twice, but 3 chances to comply. And so there is room to grow there, and I wouldn't worry at the time, well, I wouldn't worry at this time here. Maybe in 2 years I would start worrying if they're not compliant. But I do imagine that NIO will be back in compliance. I do imagine that it's going to push back a jump. But now, Ed, what do you think about the short term? I think it's going to probably test new lows, at least in the last 2 weeks, right? I do think that it's going to touch the 4021. And I do hope it bounces right back, because that's a very, very strong support. So if you're trading this one, I would think maybe I'll start a position of 40.21, maybe down to 32.31 if it does touch, and then 29.46. Don't go all in. Phase in your entry if you're still bullish about this one. Now, if you're holding a position, why if it jumps, let's say on Monday up to 51.96, as I've always been saying, all the way I think back from here, is start securing some of the profits because it's going hyperbolic. Because here is the thing that a lot of people fail to see is the channel that it was following. It was following this channel, right? And it looked really strong. But look what happened here. It went parabolic. And I still believe that it probably might actually follow this channel, which the bottom of it, guess what, is around 25.09. I hope it doesn't reach there, but that would probably be somewhere about where I would go in as my last entry, but really looking bullish that I don't think it's going to drop below $35. I know that's a massive drop from where it is, but I do think that in the future, in the long term, this one will be bullish. Now, you got to be very careful because you don't want to hold the stock while, let's say, you're 100% up, or even from 405, you know, you're around 1,000% up. Just start securing profits. That is my advice. And then guess what? From the profits you have, if it does dip, buy more shares. You average your shares down. You average price down. So there you go. What do you think about the sticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like. You have a wonderful day. And even if you're still here on this video, there is a Discord link down below for my own Discord. We're not selling you anything at all. We're just there to trade and come in with an open mind to learn, because we really want to do more news, structure, technical analysis, etc. Have a wonderful day.